Okay, WP Bosses, episode 02. We've got Simon Kelly with us today. He's going to talk about marketing funnels and all the magical things that come with those. I'm going to start off with a couple of jokes. They're marketing-related jokes. Okay, how many marketers does it take to screw in a light bulb? Anyone?
5.
No.
I'm going to say 3.
None. It's already automated. Why did the marketer get off the trampoline?
Because his bounce rate was too high?
Yes!
Hey! Nice.
Okay, let's do intros really quick. Nick, who are you? Gone. Nick? Hello? Is it? No? Okay, Paul, who are you?
I'm back. Hi, I'm Paul. I run Gold Coast Business Websites and WP Genie, specializing in WordPress development front end and website maintenance and support.
Very good. Tracey, who are you?
I'm Tracey from Get Web Creative. I do development, and I'm coming to you today from a lake on the Gold Coast.
Lovely.
Very nice. Nick, are you back? Nope. No? Okay. Simon, who are you?
It's got Nick pause on a very serious expression there. I'm Simon Kelly from Renegade Empire. We specialize in building e-commerce sites and WordPress marketing funnels.
Excellent. And I'm Robey Lawrence from Bearded Friend. We build modern websites. I'm currently on the Gold Coast. And that's me. Is Nick? No, Nick. Nick is from Positive Business Online. He builds positive websites.
Hello. You can hear me. I'm with Positive Business Online, and I also build websites specialised. I think I've got a horrible phone.
We got that
part. Okay, we're going to have to move on. Tracey, what's in Meetup news this week?
Rightio. There's a couple of things going on. Thursday night on the Gold Coast, we have brand new Google AdWords tips for WordPress that you should know about. Monday, the 1st of August, we have just a meetup in Parramatta. They haven't updated their topic. And that's it for the next 7 days.
Nice. I'm not sure if Nick is going to be able to give us his business tip, so we might have to skip to Paul.
Alrighty. Okay, so this is the website health and maintenance tip section, and there has been a something I get asked a lot, and something that's come up all the time is how to limit brute force attacks. So what is a brute force attack? It just essentially means that people or either a computer software is trying to brute force their way into your login screen, so to guess your password and your username. So how can you stop this from happening? There's no real sort of great way to do it. You can certainly limit them, but yeah. Anyway, so you can do it with plugins. So you can get something like a capture plugin, puts a mathematical question in there, so that when a bot has to tries to sign in using the username password, or trying to guess the username password, they have to also put in that mathematical answer. and obviously if they don't do that, then they can't get access. So that's one way to stop or limit it. The other way you could do it is with WordFence, which is a plugin where you can limit the amount of login attempts, meaning, so just imagine a computer is trying to force their way into your website, and it's got a particular IP address. You can then lock that IP address using the WordFence plugin. There's other things like Cloudflare, where it's a third-party system or website where you can route your website traffic through, and it does a good job of limiting bots that are trying to get into your WP admin login page and trying to force or brute force their way in. You can also use a paid service called Security, where they have a firewall system set up where again it routes through their servers. Or the traffic routes through their servers to handle your website traffic. And so, yeah, there's also a HT access rule. I've used it a couple of times where you can put in a bit of code into your HT access that will only allow your IP access to the WP admin page. So I don't know if there's any way we can put that code up on here, but yeah, it's just look up on Google, just type in like HT access, limit login IP, something like that, and then you just add that to your HT access file. So it's not 100% foolproof, but yeah, you've just got to work out what's best for you in that regard. So hope that helps.
Very good. Thank you.
Pleasure.
We'll put some of that information in the video description and the show notes, etc.
Awesome.
Now, just quickly before we get to Simon, I've got a WordPress plugin of the week from an Australian developer. If anyone uses Gravity Forms, they may have come up with the necessity to spit out a PDF from all the submitted data before. There's the plugin called Gravity PDF, and it's by Jake Jackson from Blue Liquid Designs. And what it does is when someone submits a form, you can set up the Gravity PDF plugin to automatically generate a PDF file of the submission. And you can, there's lots of different features. I'm looking at the plugin page now. You can actually connect it up to a PayPal or Authorize.net or payment gateway so that your user has to pay in order to receive that generated PDF. So maybe you've got a template of something or something that's designed up really nicely, and you want someone to be able to just enter their simple information, spit out a PDF, pay $5 and get this, really nice designed resume or whatever it is. So that's what I found for this week. Again, I'll put the links in the video descriptions, etc. But that's all from me. I'm going to hand the microphone to Simon, and Simon's going to give us a definition of what a marketing funnel is, and maybe just a couple of minutes of info.
Cool. Can everyone hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet. I was like, is that a no? Yeah, actually, while I've got the mic, I've got a question for Paul that I wanted to ask before. But yeah, with the security, I think something a lot of people get they kind of struggle with is that there are many options, and that you can do security, you can do Cloudflare, you can do WordFence. Is there something that you would say would be like, okay, you definitely need to do this at a minimum if you have I don't know what show would they be, like WordPress developers, or let's just say that everyone should be watching the show. So we're taking into account like a lot of different kinds of WordPress users. What would you say, like, okay, if you're going to do one thing and it's probably going to take, like maybe 70% of the risk off you. What do you think? What would you recommend?
Good question. Well, it really depends. Okay, so when we set up a client when we onboard a client through our WP Genie service, we install the security plugin, and we also install the WordFence plugin. So the WordFence plugin will limit the amount of times that a brute force, like a login attempt, can be made. So we set it to, like, say 5 times, until then that IP gets blocked for a certain amount of time. So that's and the security plugin will essentially allow us to be notified if there's any sort of file changes, or any sort of logins and stuff that are actually happening on the site. So I guess those two things, installing WordFence and security. I have heard though that WordFence is starting to become a little bit more bloated. So there are some people that have started to not use that and just purely use the security plugin only. So I guess security is probably a good plugin to start with. Just throw that on, and it's really all about sort of just continuously monitoring. And I would then probably recommend going through, like, setting up a free account on Cloudflare and just I'd probably do those two things. I'll suggest those two things: Cloudflare and a security plugin. That's it.
Awesome. Sweet. Cheers. That sounds good.
Hmm.
Okay, awesome. All right, so switching gears absolutely completely away from that into marketing funnels, which is like nothing to do with Cloudflare or security. I guess you're not going to make any sales if you don't have your security sorted. So definitely pay attention to that as well. Okay, so when it comes to marketing funnels, my history is from being a developer and from being a designer as well, and trying to build websites for clients and not being particularly good at sales or marketing, which actually is something that a website is really fundamentally for. It's not so much a technological barrier anymore, especially coming up with Squarespace, Shopify, Wix. I'm sorry to say that on the show, but like all these different ways that you can build a website, it's not so much of a technological barrier anymore, but people still aren't getting results, right? So that's a big problem. And something that I'm really passionate about is people who have great businesses and great ideas, about actually seeing them come to fruition. You can't just have a website anymore. It's kind of, you're behind the 8 ball if you're still thinking, I need to get my website sorted. It's not work. It's not really doing what I want to. I want to redesign my website. It's like, no. What you need to really think about is the conversation and the way that the sales process works with your ideal customer. What's the best way to take them from someone who has never ever heard about you into a loyal customer, basically, and someone who would love to tell someone else about how good you are. And there's a process that every one of us who has done any selling ever, for themselves, for someone else, who has ever sold anything, you go through that process. You go through that. You take the prospect through that journey, through conversation, basically, yeah. So when it comes to selling websites, so you don't approach selling a website to someone if you just were in a room with someone and that's all you had no internet for some crazy reason. You're just sitting in there having a conversation with them, and you're wanting to get them on board, and they're like, I'm pretty interested in getting a website done. I've got this, let's say, lawn mowing business. You wouldn't just start by just saying how much it costs for your packages for your website, and that's it. You wouldn't just leave it at that. You would have a general conversation about their business. You would talk about the benefits of having a website. You talk about potentially things like similar results that maybe some businesses like theirs that have achieved, because what's in it for me. They want to be able to know that it's going to work for their business. So you have these conversations, and they're along the conversation, they're nodding, so that's like some form of agreement, basically. So they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So other lawn mowing businesses, they have achieved results, like Jim's Mowing or whatever. They've achieved results. Have a look at what they're doing. They use email marketing. So you're having this conversation at the top level, basically. You're talking about the needs of the customer, and you're talking about the problem that they're having. They're not getting enough leads and sales through their poorly designed website, or the fact that they don't have a website. So you're talking about the problem in the initial stage. So that's the first step in the customer journey. It's that awareness stage. They know they've got a problem, and they are just looking for a solution, essentially, or they might not even know they have a problem at that stage. So you can create awareness via blog posts is a way that I definitely like to do it, and a very common way of doing it. It's just generally adding value in the marketplace through solve problems via blog posts. So that is the top stage of the funnel. So once they've gone through the awareness stage and they understand, like, okay, cool, yeah, my lawn mowing business could benefit from having a website. I understand that now. I can see, maybe some case studies about how that's worked with other lawn mowing businesses. I can see how that's going to benefit me. Cool. So then the next part of the conversation, you get a bit more specific, yeah? So yeah, again, like case studies would be a good point. Maybe a self-assessment, how to look at your own website, maybe a 5-point checklist. You can look at your own website to self-assess where maybe your website's having problems. Like it's a 5-point conversion checklist. And you can go through that as the website owner, and you can tick off each of these things. Make sure your phone number's at the top. Make sure your address is at the top. Are you using schema? Are you using page titles? Do you have a clear call to action on every page? Is your unique value proposition center on the home page? And have you got the Cloudflare plugin installed? Because that's important for security. So with all of that, so they've gone through that checklist, and they're coming along the journey with you at this point. So you're adding value to them, and they're gaining trust with your service. You know what you're talking about. So it's less of a barrier to go from these conversations, these micro conversations, up to the point we deliver. What we recommend for your business is a $5,000 package, which includes this, and this. It's much more likely that they're going to go with you because you've had the ability to prove your expertise along the way and solve some of their problems and gain their trust along the basically a marketing funnel that could be used in practice. So just before I move on to the next part, do you guys have any questions, or does that make sense so far?
I'm glad we're recording this. You talk very fast.
Good.
Sweet. Cool. That's good. I got because usually I think the talks that you guys saw, that was about like 45 minutes, so it's there's a lot to pack in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It sounds awesome,
does it make
Simon.
sense as well? Yeah, it's all sounding cool. All right, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's great.
at this point, it's like, right, okay, cool. So I get that that's a funnel, but the next question, and tell me if I'm wrong with this point, is like, okay, I get that makes sense, but how do I actually do that? Like, how do you even do that on a website? Like, you can have that conversation, sure, but how? That's probably the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how, Simon.
Hmm.
I have no idea. No. So, okay, so you start with the end in mind. So just like what I was saying before, you start. So the goal is that you want someone to come on and you want to sell them a website package, yeah. So just like they don't want to get ripped off, you don't want to work with someone who isn't right for you. And a marketing funnel, like sales funnel, a funnel can help make sure that each step of the way you can assess each other, or that it's going to be a good fit as well. So starting with the end in mind, so we've got, I'll just stick with $5,000 web design package. So basic package, $5,000, so we start with that. So what I do in my business as part of the funnel is I take that $5,000 package and I break that down into the pieces of that package. So whenever I'm building a website, we have a discovery stage first, yeah? So you want to you do some research into the client, you understand about their competitors, do some keyword research, you want to assess their existing website, something like that. Part of what you do anyway, yeah? So what we've done is we've packaged that as a one-off purchase. So they can purchase that discovery package, and we're going to do that anyway as part of the bigger package, and they get that price as a credit on their larger package if they go with us. But we're essentially getting paid to do the discovery, to understand more about their business, to write a better proposal for the bigger project. Yeah. So even just that, breaking the bigger project into one extra step, that's a less commitment for the client, and what they're going to get out of it is a proposal, first of all, also thorough to their business, their industry, their competitors, laying out a plan that's most likely going to work for them. And the way that I like to sell that to them is that they can use that in other agencies if they want to. I don't think anyone's done that yet. Maybe someone has, and they just haven't told me about it. But basically, give them a plan to see, after our assessment, here's what we prescribe for you, and it just helps us really to make sure we're going to be a good fit for each other, and it helps us to it's helped us to make less mistakes too, because going from having a conversation to a client to doing the proposal, sometimes things are just way off. Like, maybe that's just me, but sometimes you think like, oh my god, you didn't say 75 pages, you said 4, and you have this many products and none of your content's ready. I'm going to pull my friggin' hair out. So it just helps you do one. It helps the client because they don't have to commit as much. They know exactly what they're going to get out of it. You both can have that understanding before the proposal is presented. Okay, so before the discovery session, so again, breaking it down even further, so starting with the end in mind, discovery session, moving down from a discovery session, the first thing that we always do is we have a consultation with the client. So then what we do is a website accelerator consultation, which is 2 one-hour sessions, one for reviewing their website, essentially. So we get a few questions of the client before we get started. So, like, what are your 3 business goals this year, and what are the 3 things that are that you think are failing on your website? So I've experimented with a couple of different questions. These usually give pretty okay results. That's fine. So they get back to me with those. I do a quick review of their website, and then we get started for a 1 hour call, and then we show our I show my expertise. The team shows their expertise in solving some of those problems, and see if we can give them some quick wins over that consultation session. Understand a bit more about their goals. We just talk to them. There's not really, during that consultation, because it's just 1 hour, there's not really a lot to do. It's more about really, again, you're getting paid to see if you're a good fit for each other and understand, and they get a better understanding of your expertise. So then following that 1 hour, we do a 1 hour accountability session, which is basically say, okay, based on what we talked about in the first hour, how have you gone, the next week, the week after that? Have you been able to make any progress? We talked about producing, let's say we talked about producing content. Has your team been able to produce any content? 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to say no, and then you realize they don't have the resources, which is great. You could say, well, fantastic, my team has the resources. Would you like some help with that? Move into the discovery stage. Or if they say yes, we've actually been able to create this blog post, create our first step of the funnel. And you say, okay, what kind of traffic is that getting? Where are you sharing that? Are you collecting emails at the bottom of that? So really, again, showing your expertise and showing where there's gaps in what they're doing. So even if they do have resources, you're still showing your expertise and showing where there's potential for improvement. Yeah. So that's the sales funnel for us. Yeah. And then in the marketing funnel side of it, we've got blog posts that we do. So 10 things to fix on your website. I've got a post that does quite well. It's really, really basic. One's just a maintenance checklist for WordPress, and another one is how to fix this image issue on Facebook that a lot of people seem to have. So we actually get pretty good results from that. And then people, then I've got a, oh man, I just keep talking. Just feel free to jump in if I'm just going on and on.
The marketing funnel or discovery session you're talking about sounds to me more like a sieve rather than a funnel. So imagine you're making a cake.
A sieve,
flour through the sieve, so you get all the bad chunks of flour out, and only the good flour comes through. So you only get the good clients coming through that are a good fit to work with each other. So that's
No
just
lumpy
kind of
bits,
where
yeah.
my head went. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I think that it just makes sense in the conversation that you would basically have with a customer anyway. You're just breaking everything down into little micro commitments, and that's the key part of the funnel. Is that it doesn't just go from zero to buying something, expensive, or buying anything. Like it really takes a conversation, and you can take that online through blog posts and then through lead magnets. Next part I was getting up to. So we've got the blog posts out there, and then at the bottom of blog posts, or as a pop-up, or as like a ribbon on the top of your website, a lead magnet, which is a downloadable resource, like a checklist or a short ebook, to be able to give some value that from that blog post. So let's say we're talking about 5 social media apps that you should use for your business. The lead magnet would be something along the lines of the top 7 or like a social media checklist. So then they download the social media checklist, and then that would lead them towards selling them on a social media discovery session. So it all makes sense. And the way that I like to think about the progression with this is, if you like this, you'll love this. So if you liked our blog post on this, you'll love our lead magnet checklist on this. If you like that lead magnet, you'll love our consulting session where we actually get hands-on with you to be able to help you fix some of these problems. And if you like that, you'll love our monthly retainer package where we will fix that for you without you even having to think about it. And that's how you basically take them from zero to sold.
Mm.
Nice.
Cool. So one thing I did want to show you, and I don't know if we can do screen share here, so I might have to draw it in the air, but if we can, that'd be awesome.
You can try, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Screen share. Dun, dun, dun.
Just while you're doing that, I'll say Nick's goodbyes and apologies. He said his phone was dying on him and he was out in the car and he had to go to a meeting.
Oh, no.
So the 3 of those excuses is why Nick's gone.
That's fair enough. One of them wasn't valid, but 3 together is pretty good.
My computer's about to die too, so if I disappear, bye.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, you've only got one excuse, Tracy. You need more than that.
Yeah.
The riverbank doesn't have power.
No,
All right.
they should
fair
have
enough.
PowerPoints by the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's this wireless power? When's this coming in? Okay, cool. So really, the last thing I want to share with you until before you guys ask questions, if you have any, is this 3-page funnel that I've got here. So basically, this is how can you guys see that 3-page funnel?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, this is how you deliver the lead magnet. Okay. So you've got the landing page, and the landing page. I'll move across to another slide. So that has a landing page. Yeah.
Yep.
So this particular one was built with Thrive leads. So that's the landing page. Dun, dun. Okay. So then after the landing page, we take them over to the thank you page. We don't actually deliver the lead magnet on that page. We don't actually give them the resource that they were after just yet. What we want to do is to have an opportunity to sell them something at this point. And this is one of the biggest differentiators that you can do in your business, because most people will deliver the lead magnet on the thank you page. And because the engagement is so high at this point, you want to have the opportunity to sell them the next step in the funnel, instead of just giving them that checklist, that resource, the lead magnet that they were after at that point. I'll show what that looks like really quick. Okay, so you see at the bottom of this page, it says, thank you for signing up, just one more thing to do, check your email, and then below it says get results faster and with less effort. So that's just a basic title there. So that's the kind of thinking you need to get into is so they've downloaded this checklist, but if they would like results faster and with less effort, sign up to our consulting package and we'll take care of it for you. And the way you can help to sell that is, if you're serious about getting results for your website, then check out this offer, basically. So we're not being overly, it's not overly selling, and that's a key point that I really want to convey here. It's not like there's this big trick or anything like that. It is a bit of a formula, and it's something that like after speaking with a couple of developers, it's something you can engineer, and it's a system that you can build where you don't have to continuously have that awkward conversation about sales. You can set up a system like this where you actually have to create the value. Like, you have to create the blog post, you have to create the consulting package, you have to create the lead magnets. Like, there's no substitute for that. Like, you have to be valuable. So that is the key part. But the awkward conversations that people have, and like I was having when I first started, I thought that there could be a better way to maybe automate this, and this seems to work really well. So you still have to deliver the value, but you just don't have to have some awkward sales conversations, not as many anyway. And by the time a customer comes to you and actually is interacting with you, they've seen your blog posts, they've accessed your checklists, they've downloaded some of your resources. In my case, I've got some videos that I will send to some of my leads as well, so I don't actually interact with them until they've already interacted with me. So by the time we have a conversation about the proposal and about their website, they're kind of already on board, because either they don't like me and they've already left and we don't even have to have a conversation, or they do like me and they've stuck around, and then we're basically just talking about how we're going to work together, not whether or not we're going to work together. Does that make sense?
So that's a really good tip as well.
And then the last part of this is, thank you email directs them to the delivery page as opposed to the just delivering it. So this is the delivery page, and the only way to get to this page is via the email that gets automatically sent to them, and then you can see at the bottom there's another opportunity to make that purchase.
I guess the good thing about that email is that it authenticates their email as well, so they're not just putting some random email account in there, and they actually have to go to the email and get the content.
Yeah, so it keeps your list nice and clean instead of all these example@example.coms.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So
how
if I
are we
was
going
going
for
to
time?
implement one of these,
Yep.
I've got a couple of minutes. If I was going to implement one of these for myself, you'd recommend I start write a few blog posts and an ebook. Are they necessities?
Not necessarily an ebook. What you can do as well is you can think about the ways that you can give value and solve a very specific problem. Turn that into a blog post. Turn that blog post into what's a complementing downloadable for that blog post. So that could be a checklist related to that blog post. So let's say, so with social media, 5 social media apps and then a social media checklist. So, make sure you're doing these 5 things in your social media. So they're complementing products. One of them can be a blog post and one of them can be downloadable. It doesn't really matter which one. It's just about the progression of value, essentially. And creating an ebook, it doesn't take that long. Pick 5 points that you want to make and write a couple of sentences about each one. It's just making sure that you are delivering specific value. You don't want it. The word book isn't really that good because it's not a book. It's meant to be consumed in like less than 10 minutes. You really just want it to be an ultra-specific solution to an ultra-specific problem.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
I guess you could do like some sort of screenshot thing, how to implement, something like, like just a specific thing. You could just then screenshot it out and show them step by step on how to do it, and then obviously in the ebook you can have a sale as part of the sales funnel. You could have like, oh, you don't want to do this? We can do it for you. That sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. So at the end of the ebook or the checklist, whatever it is, you can have a call to action, and you can do that in the Google Slides I usually use for creating ebooks because it's awesome. And I've got a template that we can chuck in the show notes if you like, and you can download that. You just duplicate it and you can edit it and use it if you like. I've also got a final worksheet that I use when I'm trying to think about creating a funnel, and it does. We start with the end in mind. So in the worksheet, talk about what your core offer is, what it is, the end goal you want to actually get to, and then splintering off those products into the next stage product. So the first purchase and the lead magnet. You brainstorm like 5 or so ideas for the lead magnet, and then brainstorm 5 or so ideas for the blog post. So I've got a little worksheet you can run through for that, and it includes a bit of content for the emails as well.
Yeah,
Help get you started, Robey.
yeah.
Did we just lose Robey?
I think so. Oh no, he's back. I was going to say, that's it.
Hey, Robey, sorry, Simon, one more question if I can. How do you drive traffic to your website? Do you use like Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and if you do, then which one would you suggest using? Which one would be more?
Yeah, like I prefer to use Facebook ads. For it really depends on the offer. For me, I've found that Facebook ads have worked better for the types because I'm aware of the type of customer that I want to attract more than I'm aware for the search results that they're going to be searching for to get to me.
Yeah.
So it's like a particular customer persona that I'm after. So I can target them better with well, I've found anyway that I can target them better through Facebook than I can through targeting specific keywords. It's just worked out a bit cheaper for me. I've tried both, and Facebook seems to be a good way to do it. I haven't needed to do that for quite a while, which is good.
Okay. Do you advertise?
So do I advertise what?
Do you advertise posts or do you advertise your offers? Because I see sometimes people, advertise.
So what I do.
Go on.
So I advertise all of them. So so I do all of them. So basically, Facebook advertising is a way to help move those who are in your funnel from one step to the next. So Facebook advertising and email nurturing. So at the very beginning, when you use Facebook advertising, at the very top, the way that I target the top level is to target people who have not been pixeled. So use the Facebook pixels on your website, and everyone's getting pixeled. So if they haven't been pixeled, it means they haven't seen the website. So I'm trying to get people into the very top of the funnel at that point, and at that point I'll advertise a particularly popular blog post. So I'm going to try to reach people who have not seen this blog post. And the reason I use a popular one is because it's popular, and it's likely that it's going to have better results for me. And the measurement of success there is cost per pixel. So it's how much does it cost to pixel a bunch of people. Not much return you get from that, but you're getting a lot of people who are going to be pixeled, and you're going to be retargeting them later. So then the next stage that I target people the landing page for the lead magnet. And I only target people who have been pixeled and who haven't seen the thank you page for the lead magnet.
Right, okay.
Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know they've visited the website. I know they've seen my pop-up, because that fires for every the website, and the pop-up is the lead magnet. So I know they've seen that, so it's in their mind. And then typically for the lead magnet, to take them to the landing page for the lead magnet. And that's one of the only ways you can get to the landing page is actually through one of the ads. And so the landing page doesn't have any navigation. It's basically the only two things you can do on the landing page is leave or download the lead magnet. You have two choices, and that's it. So it's quite easy to measure results because they're not getting distracted by anything. So yeah, retargeting there. And so I know I don't really need to target like a specific type of audience at that point, because I know they're interested because they've seen the website, right? Yeah. Yeah, and doing that basically for any funnel is a good way to do it. So that helps to move people logically along the funnel. And then when they opt into the lead magnet, then you have a series of nurturing emails to be able to get them to the next stage if they haven't purchased on the thank you page or the delivery page.
Nice. Got it.
So lots of retargeting and email nurturing is what it's all about at that point. So you got some ideas for your business?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome.
Always. Good.
Yes. Yeah. It's a great way to do it. And I don't know, when you think about it, you find that you do have the similar conversations a lot of the time with clients. And we all, like, developers will talk about like optimizing our workflow and things like that. It's like, well, we can't have a workflow if we're not going to make sales throughout the business. So we need to. What about if we automated the workflow for dealing with customers? Not dealing with them, for attaining customers by giving them value the whole way. So basically, happy leads come out the end of it that have already interacted with you in some way. So the conversations they are so much better by the end of it. It's fantastic. It's worked really well for me. To be honest, it's worked really well for my confidence a lot more than anything. Like, it's helped with sales a lot, but it's helped my confidence because going into a meeting, I went into a meeting once, and I think it wasn't long after this point when I realized I had to change something. We sat down. The guy who I'm having the meeting with didn't actually organize the meeting, like his secretary or something organized the meeting, and really talked up how keen he was to get a website. Sat down, the first thing he said to me is like, so why would I need a website? I was like, oh my God, really? Like, I have to start all the way at that point? Like, I'm so not keen to tell that you need a website to someone. Like, that's just like, I'm not a good salesperson at all, and I don't particularly want to be at that point. Like, if you don't see value in something, I'm not going to force you to buy it. I just don't want to be that guy. So the logical steps of value giving and them and clients and leads, like opting into different things, and it's in their control as they opt in and click. The system basically just presents them the next option, and there's no force to click or anything. I don't countdown timers. I might do that, but I don't use any of those countdown timers, even though I heard that they help really well. Let's say that the consulting has like a 24-hour offer or something like that that's half price, something like that. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So it's really in their mind how they want to choose. Like, they're choosing their adventure, and they've clicked to say that they want to download this, and they want to purchase the consulting package. They've said that. So it's really permission sales and permission marketing, and I just feel much more comfortable talking to someone who wants to buy from me.
Cool. Yeah.
I do have more questions, but I'll have to ask them to you later. We have had a few technical difficulties which have pushed us over a little bit. But if you want to just drop where people might be able to contact you if they have more questions.
Cool. Well, at Twitter, Simon_L_Kelly, big spot. Have a chat, ask me anything, and we'll put the lead magnet and the funnel worksheet in the show notes, Robey.
Yep.
Do you want to do that? Yeah. I've got something else too. Can't remember what it was. Something good. The lead magnet, the funnel worksheet. There's something else, so there'll be a surprise. I'm not sure what it is.
Excellent.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your time and your wealth of knowledge and your patience. And I'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, awesome. I'm stoked to hear that it's valuable. I'm really excited to hear someone do something with this and implement something with this. Some of the resources that I've put together. So if you manage to make some progress with this, I'd be more than happy to jump on a call with someone if they're keen to if they've done something and they're keen to help and they want help. Sorry. To get it finished, I'll be happy to jump on a free call to help someone actually make something happen. But you have to do something first. You have to get something done, and then I'll help you finish.
Cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, Simon. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Cheers heaps for having me on the call. Great to catch up with you both again. And yeah, sorry about the lateness of that call. I totally missed that, but I'm happy you guys had technical difficulties, to tell you the truth, so it wasn't all my fault.
It's on all of us.
All in good time.
Yeah, exactly. All good.
All right. See ya.
See you
All right,
guys.
ciao, guys. All the best.